Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Yasmin and this is my first ever YouTube video. I'm super excited to be doing this video. I've been wanting to do YouTube for a while now. Just talk about my life and do makeup. It's been really important to me to do it. I went to hair school. I am a licensed cosmetologist, so I've been kind of in that field for a while now, and I've just always wanted to do YouTube, and I don't know why I never did it. But today was the day. I was like, I'm going to sit down and record the video. Boom. So I did this look right here, and for me it's just my everyday go-to makeup look. It's really simple, really easy. You can go to the grocery store with it, go to school, do anything you really want to with this makeup. Super natural, like soft glam. So that's what I wanted my first YouTube video to be. Nothing too dramatic, nothing too crazy, just nice and simple. And yeah, so if you want to see how to get this look, just keep on watching. Okay. So my favorite way to start out doing my makeup is prepping my face really well, do my whole skincare routine, and then prime my face really well, and then I'll move on to my brows, and then I go on to my eyes, and then my face. I like doing it that way just because when I do eyeshadow, the fallout can really ruin your face makeup, and it's like, what was the point? So yeah, I'm gonna start off by doing my brows. There's a lot of different ways that you can do your brows. I'm gonna be using the Anastasia Dip Brow in medium brown, and I have her brush as well that I'm going to be using with it. So my favorite, one thing about brows and like learning to really get them down is basically just knowing your eyebrow shape. You want to kind of just take a look at your brows and kind of just look at how they arch and just kind of get a feel for them. Also, you know, with this product, if you do decide to use this product, a little bit goes a very long way. So just grabbing a little bit and also using your spoolie is really important too, because it will help with distributing the product and making it nice and smooth. But also, like, if you go too dark, it'll help lighten it a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. So I like to start on the outside of my brow only because it helps with making sure that the darkest part of your eyebrow is on the outside rather than on the inside. You want it to be lighter out here and then get darker as it goes. So I just put brow product there and start dragging out. As you can see, it's a very, like, it's super pigmented, so you can just drag the product out. And don't worry if you kind of go outside of your brow, because cleaning up your brows that's like literally, it makes it, like, you can literally be up here with your brow, but you can clean it up and it'll look fine. A lot of people are intimidated by brows, but I actually like it. It's like one of my favorite things to do. I feel like it kind of like makes your face, like, it creates like a structure. So I'm slowly just bringing that product in, slowly and gradually, because when we get to this part, there's like a little special trick that I do. So I like to pinch the brush, making sure it's really sharp. When you really get here, what you want to do is make a line and just drag that, and then blend. A lot of times people start to make too thick of brows because, you know, they try to bring it down a little bit too far or bring it up too high, and then that's when it starts to get really thick. But just stay like on your natural brow. If you stay on your natural brow, that will help you so much. And then when I kind of get up here, I like to flick up. Up. And then when I get straight to the front of the brow, I like to take the pencil like this, because I'm doing it like this, but take it this way and then flick up so that it creates the appearance of like brow hairs. So this is what you want to do. I'm going for a more natural brow today since this is kind of like my everyday wear. So something nice and natural and kind of not too bold. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit more product just to darken it up just a little bit more, because my natural, like, my hair is pretty dark, and I'm just making that shape. Some people like to draw out the brow first and then fill it in. Sometimes I'll do that. Just today, because I was feeling more of like a natural brow, I will do it, just go right over the brow hairs. But I'm trying to make the bottom of it pretty sharp. I need to get my eyebrows done. That's what I need to do. They're looking rough right now, but you just go with it. Taking a little bit more product, and then what I like to do is I take my brush flat and then I trace it right at the bottom. And then just going through with the spoolie again, brushing out, make sure that it's nice and evenly. It's not too harsh or too dark in one spot. That's another thing, like, it can look really bad if it's not nice and smooth, and that's why it's important to have a spoolie on the other side of the brush. Now that I'm going to clean out my brow, I usually like to use a concealer. And I like a concealer that's more of a thicker consistency, only because if you use something that's liquidy, when you start to go clean it up, it can spread too far and kind of just mess up the brow. So something that's a little bit more thicker. My favorite concealer right now is actually the NARS. This is the Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Caramel. And I love this concealer. I really like their one in the tube as well. But just for cleaning up the brow specifically, I like this one because it's a little thicker. And I'm going to be using this Real Techniques brush. It's just called the foundation brush, but it's kind of like a concealer brush. It's nice and small. I like it a lot because it's a concealer brush and it kind of stays together, and it's big enough to where it can just kind of get the job done. So I'll just dip a little bit in to the concealer. A little bit goes a long way with this concealer too, so just be careful with it. So I like to start at the bottom. I kind of like arch my eyebrows up and then go right under. And make a line just like that. I know it looks a little crazy right now, but trust me, it'll look good in the end. And so I'm just kind of pulling it, dragging it, cleaning it up right under the brow. Another time where people can mess this up is they go a little too high and it kind of just messes up the shape. But once you kind of get it down, all you're going to do is kind of like drag this concealer out, because I'm going to prime my eyelids with this same concealer, so that's why it works out. So I'm just going to blend this down. By the way, I might sound a little crazy, but that's because I'm sick. I caught a little bit of a cold and it's messing me up. So yeah, that's basically just how I like to clean it up on the bottom. I do go ahead and clean up the top, but when I clean up the top, I don't use the same concealer, because if you use a concealer, my concealer is a little bit light. I like it about 2 shades lighter than my foundation. But if you use the same concealer, it becomes a little, you get that line that nobody likes. It's not a cute look. It's not a look. So you want to make sure you use basically the same color as your foundation, so that way you don't get that line that's there, especially when you take flash pictures. It won't look cute. So I'm going to go ahead and get my foundation, which I'm going to be using today the Lancome Tint Idol Ultra 24-Hour Makeup. And I'm in the shade 460 Suede W. So I just take a little bit of this on the back of my hand and go right on the top of the brow. I like to just make sure, again, that my brow is how I like it. I go back in a little bit more product. Just like that. And then I like to start when I'm concealing the top of the brow. I like to start at the back of it, so that way I don't mess up. So just take it little by little. It doesn't have to be perfect, because if you try to make it too perfect, that's another thing. Eyebrows are sisters, not twins, so don't waste your time trying to make them completely perfect. I used to spend like 45 minutes trying to get my brows perfect, and they still weren't perfect, so I was like, okay, I'm done with that. So and then once you kind of get the line, make sure you blend it. And yeah, so that's alright. So now that I'm finished with this brow, I'm going to go ahead and do the other eyebrow off camera just to speed up the process a little bit, and then I'll be back and we'll work on the eyes. So I went ahead and finished my other eyebrow off camera just to speed up the process a little bit. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to prime my face really fast, because I like to have my primer working into my skin while I'm working on my eyes. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. It's a primer and a moisturizer in one. If you have normal or dry skin, this is like heaven sent. It's so good. It primes your face, it moisturizes it, and it plumps it as well. I also like it because it has hyaluronic acid in it, and hyaluronic acid helps with the hydration of your skin. It helps like lock it in. So that's what I really like about it. And then when I go ahead and, because the foundation that I'm going to be using, the Lancome one, it's a little bit more of a matte foundation, and since I have normal to dry skin, it can look a little dry on me. That's why I like to really prep my skin really well with moisture, so that way when I go in, it looks more like skin rather than like makeup. So a little bit on the forehead too, nose area. Kind of let that soak in while I quickly do my eyes. I'm not going to do anything too drastic since this is just an everyday look. I usually, when I do just an everyday look, I'll put some, like, one wash of color in my eye and then a little highlight on the brow bone. So I'm going to go ahead and go back in with that NARS concealer and prime the eye. I'm going to take a little bit with that same concealer brush that I was using and put that all over the lid. Just like that. And then I like to go ahead and blend it out with a concealer brush. So I'm going to be using the Morphe E8 brush, and this is from the collab with Jaclyn Hill, one of my faves, her brush kit, and it's a really good brush kit. You get like pretty much everything you need in there for a really decent price, not spending like $360 on Kylie's brushes. Girl, who you playing? As soon as you're done and you've got it blended out and it looks like this, you want to go ahead and set it before it creases. I'm going to be using the Lock-It brightening powder from Kat Von D. I love this stuff. It's in the color golden. It's like a yellow powder. I use this to bake, set, all of that good stuff. It's amazing. I'll take a little bit and pour it in the back of the cap, and then just go ahead and set that all in place. I love this brush. Elite brushes are a little bit more luxurious and more soft in bristles, and they don't shed as much. But this one is bomb, especially for concealer. Alright, so now that you have that set, you want to go ahead and start with your eyeshadow. So I'm just going to be putting some bronzer in there. The bronzer, it's actually not a bronzer, it's a face powder. This one is from Sephora. It's their Micro Smooth powder, and I love this stuff because it's a little bit hydrating, so it doesn't make you look so dry and cakey, and it's super smooth. So it's bomb. You gotta try it. Alright, so in that same little brush kit that Jacqueline came out with, I'm going to go ahead and grab the brush R37. This one is from their like rose gold collection. I'm going to dip a little bit into the brush, and then you want to make sure you tap off the excess, and then just kind of basically go right in there, the crease area. I like using, like when I'm doing an everyday look, a bronzer is nice because it kind of just flows. It's just like a nice wash of color on the eye. I like to start on the outside because that's where I like want the most color payoff, and then just drag that in to the inside and bring it up. A lot of eyelid space, so it makes it a little bit easier for color placement. But yeah. So basically you just want to go ahead and keep building the color up to really get that color payoff that you want. This is a micro smooth powder, so it's not going to be super pigmented. I'm going to use one more shade in the crease just to deepen it up a little bit lower. And that's pretty much what's going to be it for the eyes. It's literally going to be it for the eyes. And then you're done. It's just an everyday look. And don't forget to bring this color all the way in to the inner corner. And then just blend away. Blending is key. It helps with everything. You want to be looking like one of those girls with their eyeshadow unblended. That's not cute. Okay, so I am going to go in with the Morphe M433 brush. This brush is really nice. This is like a really popular brush for them. One of their best sellers. I like it because it's not too fluffy to where the product gets too high. So it gets right in that crease area. And then the palette that I'm going to be using is the Morphe 350 palette, the first one that they came out with. When this palette dropped, oh my god, everybody went insane. They were like, I need this. It's really pretty. But then they dropped the second one, which I haven't got yet, but it's bomb. It's really pretty. So I'm not sure, like, they don't have names on the older ones, but I'm going to be taking this color right here. So the second to last row in the palette and the second shade down. Just a deeper color, and I'm just going to really apply that to the outer side. I'm going to first tap that on there. And then drag that in there. With eyeshadow, it's just a constant. Back and forth of going in with more product, blending it out, just to kind of get what you're looking for. I like to start with a little and then just build up to what you would like, because you don't want to get too crazy, especially for an everyday look. You just want to make it nice, soft, and gentle. These are literally the only two colors that I'm going to use on my eyes. Literally just to bring out just a little wash of color on the eye. That's all you need. When we apply our lashes, that's when it's really going to like pop. Yeah. So pretty much just those two colors is what I'm going to use. I'm going to quickly do my other eye off camera and I'll be right back. I went ahead and finished the other eye. And now it's time for the face, one of my favorite parts of doing makeup. I went ahead and already primed, like I said before. I'm actually going to switch up my foundation. I'm going to use the Giorgio Armani, the Luminous Silk Foundation, and I am in the shade 8.5. This foundation is so expensive. Like, it's so expensive, but it's really nice if you just like an everyday look, just because it's not as full coverage as like the Lancome one that I told you about before. That's why I really like this one, and it gives you a nice glow. It's not a matte foundation. It's really pretty. It is expensive. I think it retails for about $69. I'll let you guys know in the description box, but yeah, it's an expensive one, but it is really nice. Apply it using the Morphe sponge. This is the one that has like the straight edge, but mine is kind of jank, so we're gonna ignore that. Like I said, I'm just gonna do a pump on the back of my hand. I'm gonna start off with a pump and kind of just build as I want to. What I like about this foundation is that you can build it. You don't have to, like, it doesn't get cakey because it's a thin foundation. It's kind of like your skin, but better, what we all want. Kind of just start off. Make sure you blend it all the way to the bottom of your jaw and a little bit down your neck, so that way it's nice and blended. Go ahead and bring that on this little zit here. She showed up this morning. She was like, girl, you thought you were doing YouTube today. But it's fine. She wasn't going to stop me. So all along the jaw. I love the sponge too because it's so squishy, but it's not as squishy as the Beauty Blender. My favorite Beauty Blender is the black one besides. I like that one because it's a little more firmer than like the pink or the nude one. They are too squishy that it literally does soak up your foundation. This one's a little bit stiffer, but it's still like really soft that it will get the job done. For sure. Okay, I'll finish up with this side. On the nose. Don't worry about getting it too much up into the under eye area because we're going to go over with concealer anyways. Just kind of focus it around there. When I go and do like the middle, I like squeeze the sponge, the Morphe sponge, not the Beauty Blender. Honestly, I think this one is better than the Beauty Blender. I'm saying it here and now, it's better. And it's cheaper and way more affordable. But yeah, so you're just gonna go ahead and keep blending out, you know, any harsh lines and make sure everything is even. So once you've got your foundation on, you can go ahead with your concealer. I go ahead and apply it with the same concealer brush that I was using before. And then I make my little stripes. I like to bring it all the way into the nose just because I don't really contour my nose too much, but I just bring the concealer all the way in so that it makes the appearance of your nose look a little smaller. And then blend it out. I also like to clean up the outside of the eye a little bit. Like, a little bit. This is it. My chin area. A little bit on the forehead. Do like a couple stripes. A little bit down the nose area. So a little bit down the nose. And then same thing to the other side of the eye. I like this concealer because it's nice and creamy, like it's not too thick to where it makes it feel cakey, and then it gives you the coverage that you're looking for. So I really can appreciate about this concealer. Put a little bit on top, and no big deal. Clean up this side of the eye just a little bit. You don't need to make it too sharp, just clean up a little bit. So when you look crazy and you look like this is when you're going to go ahead and blend it out with that same sponge that I was before. But instead of using the flat side for the foundation, like I did with the foundation, I'm going to use the pointed side and then just blend that away. One of my favorite YouTubers. Her name is Jackie Aina. She like lets her concealer sit a little bit and then she goes ahead and blend it out. So I like started, I always would go in right under my eye first right away, but then I've been starting to lately like just wait a little bit under the eye, just because it gives you a little bit more coverage and it just looks, it's easier to blend out, it looks more seamless.
Makeup is definitely a process, a beautiful one. So just take your time, go slow. You don't have to rush.
I usually bring my concealer all the way back. Some people don't like it. It's totally up to you, your preference. Did you guys like that face? Some people don't like that. I mean, it's totally up to you. I always go back in with bronzer and blend it out, so it's not really a big deal to me.
Make sure you get right under the eye. Everything is blended.
I'll blend it out. We're going to go ahead and set this concealer. I'm going to go back in with that same Kat Von D Lock It Brightening Powder to set. That's what I use to... I don't really bake too much anymore except for when I'm going out, because I feel like baking, it just really helps with longevity of it. But sometimes it can get cakey. That's why I don't really bake. I just kind of like set it. I'm just going to dip right into the powder with my sponge. I like doing it with a wet sponge because it makes it look so, it makes it look not so dry, and because I have normal to dry skin, sometimes with powders it can look just bad. Like a bad situation. So that's why I like doing it this way, and then I go right under the eye and set it. And just bring that all over this side of the face, and then I'll go back in and do the same thing to the other side. Setting it is going to help with longevity so it doesn't crease, and also it just makes it look way more smooth under the eye. Perfect. So now that we set everything set under the eye, I'm going to go ahead and move on to bronzing my face. Like I said, I'm going to just use that Sephora Micro Smooth Powder. I didn't think I said... I'm going to use that Sephora powder. This is in 60 Deep. And then I'm just going to go in with the Morphe R2 brush. Same brush from that kit. Jacqueline killed it. She did the damn thing. So right along the cheekbones is where you want to bronze. And get rid of that double chin. I go right along my chin area because I have such a pointy chin. So I like to bronze her up. This side. And then I'm going to do my forehead because I have the biggest forehead alive. Got this 5 head going on, so you want to make sure you bronze her up. Don't neglect her. So once I go ahead and bronze my forehead, I go back in with the sponge. Just kind of blend it out because you don't kind of want that little like circle look. It's not a good look. It's not cute. So just go ahead and bronze up the face. Okay, so once you're done bronzing, since this is an everyday look, you don't really have to contour. I'm just going to put a little bit of contour right below on the cheekbones, and that's pretty much it. You don't want to look crazy if you're not going, you don't want to do too much if you just want something subtle. The Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I use the darker shade. Alright, so when contouring, I like to take it from the tip of the ear and bring it right down to where your eyebrow arches. So I'm just go ahead and add a little bit of that there. Not too much. Same thing to the other side. So the main difference between like a contour powder and a bronzing powder is that the bronzing shade is a little bit more warm toned, and then the contour shade is a little bit more cool toned, just to help with shadows and depth. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and apply some blush. I love blush, okay? Just so you know. And this is the E4 brush by Morphe. I got this brush a long time ago, but it's really nice. It's from that Elite collection. It's super soft. The blush I'm going to use, I got this like sample from NARS. It's called Goalie, I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I'm wrong. I'll link it down below. But it's so pretty, especially on my skin tone. If you have like my complexion, I would definitely recommend this blush. It's so pretty. NARS has like some of the prettiest blushes ever, I swear. Blush.
Why can't you do it at the top of your cheeks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I should explain that. So I like to do it at the top of my cheeks because I don't really like doing it on the like apples of my cheeks, just because it makes it look kind of like a clown. If you do it and you bring it back, it appears like your face is more like like just very structured, and it just looks way better. Trust me, try it and it'll be a life changer. Alright, bring it all the way back. I love blush. And then whatever is left on my brush, that's when I'll kind of like go over my like the apples of the cheeks, but that's pretty much it. So, and I am in front of sunlight, so sorry if it's kind of like the lighting is changing. Sun setting a little bit, so yeah. Alright, so what I'm going to do is head and quickly apply some liner on my top lash line and in my waterline. Then apply lashes really fast, and I'll be right back. So I went ahead, applied my lashes. I applied the Ardell, the double wispies. They're one of my favorites for just like a natural day. They're super wispy at the top. So I'm pretty much done. I'm just going to go ahead and set my face with some setting spray. This one's by Morphe. I love this one because it's an aerosol can, so it just continues to spray. You don't have to keep pushing it down. So I'm going to go ahead and set my face. I like to take a shower with this, I like to drown myself in it, so just be prepared. Feels so good. This stuff smells really good too. So I like to just like take a palette and fan myself. I learned this trick from Nikki Tutorials. She said that if you fan yourself, that it makes the makeup last a little bit longer. So yeah, I like doing that. And then right before it completely dries down, I like to go ahead and apply highlighter. This one is by Ofra. It's actually the collaboration with Nikki Tutorials. This one is Blinded by the Haters. This stuff is blinding, like, girl. I'm going to take the E6 brush from the kit and put a little bit inner corner highlight. I like to wet the brush because it makes it more intense. Take a little bit of that and just pop that on the inner corner. This is like the perfect brush for this. It puts it right in there perfectly. Girl, don't come for me. And then I'm going to take the M213 and put this and use this brush for the brow bone. And just drag it out a little bit. Make sure you blend your brow highlight, just because it can look really blended very quickly. Just blend her. Just like that. Same thing for the other side. Drag her out. Girl, this highlight is unlike any other. Nikki, do that, girl. Nikki. Alright, and then I'm going to use the Morphe M510 highlighting brush and just apply this to my cheeks, a little bit to my nose. So I have to start with my nose, just a little bit, and then I'll tap it with my finger, just so that it's not crazy. I'll do a little bit at the top of my brow. Like that. A little bit on my chin area, and then it's time for the cheek. Girl, this highlight is highlight though. Girl. I'm gonna put a little bit on my actual like cheekbone. Same thing to the other side. And then yeah. Basically that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly apply gloss. This one is Buxom. This one is called Dolly. I like these because they have plumber in them, and they hold your lid, so I'm making it look good. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, so basically this is just the look that I like to do when I'm in the morning, going to school, running errands, just like my everyday go-to look. And yeah, I really like this look. It's super easy, super simple. Just take your time with makeup and you can do it. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. It means a lot to me if you could please like it and subscribe to me. Hit the bell as well, so that way you're notified when I am uploading. I'm going to try and at least upload at least once a week. That's my goal. And yeah, I hope you guys really liked it. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.